India's finally voted, and India has successfully enrolled themselves in completing one of the biggest elections in the world. And they have successfully elected a party, a man, to lead this country. Out of 800 million eligible voters, the majority of that has voted for one, which shows that even at this point of juncture, people can come together for a purpose. No matter how huge the people numbers are, people can come together. And they have come together, and they have voted, and they have elected a Prime Minister for India to lead. This is exciting, actually, for him to lead this election from the beginning, a couple of months ago, 6 months ago, when he was announced that he's the Prime Minister candidate. He took the election campaign as this election is going to be a Prime Minister election, which is smart because we already made a leader. All you have to do is just appoint him. All you have to do is just give our approval. And I think that's what he showed in these few months. From a man from a state to a man of this country, he proved himself with his words, with his approach towards questions thrown at him, towards situation raised against him. He's proved that he's ready to lead. And now, there's always been a single thing that has been raised against him by many. And this election, he has not commented many on that subject, but he's not shied away too. So I've always believed that past makes what you are right now, as in the present. And I see in present this man, his approach, comparing to many I have seen in the past, to be far, far better. So his past has made him here, made him this. And he has allowed that past, whatever happened, only he knows the truth. Whatever happened to him, he has made that into this, into a leader that he can stand up and say, I will lead. But he doesn't say, I want to lead. He says, I want the public, hope the public to run a government that has prosperity, hope, trust. Together, even the enemy, even the opposite party. He says he'll take along. As much as corny and cliche that sounds, that is the factual truth. Even if he agrees or disagrees, meaning he is the Prime Minister of India, so leaving every other people in India, including the opposition party. He is the Prime Minister of them. And to say that he is opposition party, I wouldn't touch him or give my good comments to him, would not be the right thing to do. And I think that's what's been happening in these previous elections. But he takes that up and says that I will take everybody along, and I hope he does. And something says me he will. I'm not sure, but something says me he will. Now, there's many queries and claims and questions raised. Who will be the opposition party, And I think, regardless of who comes and sits in opposition party, I think the one strong opposition party that no one can match is the public, as the people of India. I don't think you'll get any stronger vote, any stronger opposition party in a democracy than general public, because they are the one who voted him in the first place and made him the leader. I believe and always believe that the democracy, there's one thing that is equally powerful and equally dangerous, equally good and equally bad. That is, one man, an individual common man, is as strong as the one who's sitting on the throne among 1,000. That one single man, if he decides to use the power that is given to him as in democracy, if he decides, he could change anybody's fate in that country, in that democracy. And I think if one man's power is that much, and if the public sticks together in keeping an eye on this man and see and pay way for him to do what he said he'll do, what he's supposed to do, I think there's no other stronger opposition party he'll have. But obviously someone has to sit in the opposition party. So I urge who are watching this, the public, the people who's watching, that it is not enough for us to just simply come together and vote and keep quiet. I don't think so. That stops there, because many times that's what we've been doing, and that's where the problem starts and stops. Because only in the election times you get to see all these politicians, because they know our attention span is only then. So it is safe to say that we need to be on guard every day forward. I know it's a tall ask, I know it is not hard, that is why we elect somebody to do so. But this is not something 100 people community, this is a billion people. And things can get lost easily, and time could go on easily, in which I believe we don't have. 1947, that's the independence we got, and since then it's been 60-65 years. And where we are we happy with where we are as a country, as a democratically free country? Are we truly happy? We could have been, we should have been. And why is that? Because in that moment when we got that freedom, some people got together and stuck with what they thought was the right thing to do, and they stuck throughout. It was getting the freedom, and they got it. But no one followed it up. No one followed it up in making that freedom 100% right. Now, freedom is freedom. There's good and bad to it, as it is to in everything. So, as in democracy, as in freedom, we have the right to choose what is right and what is wrong. We can sit back and let everything grow as on their own because this is democracy, this is what it is. Or we can sit back and watch and see if someone does something wrong and we know there is something wrong. We can take the same democracy, question it, and make it right. And I think that's what we're supposed to do. We gotta watch this man. I'm not saying it in the wrong way, I'm saying it in the best way. I'm saying it in the way that everybody can work together, as in literally work together. This is a big country. You cannot depend on one single man to do something and let him take the blame for everything. Now, some may think I'm, trying to make him big and letting him off the hook already, but that's not the case. You see, a single man, 6 months ago, not many knew, suddenly he must be famous in the political fraternity, but in public, a single man, 6 months, a year ago, we didn't know. With the so-called Gujarat model, why I'm saying the so-called, let it be, regardless of the fact of truth, regardless of whether it's true or false, having that definition of growth, with one person's speech, one person's approach with that growth, he has actually literally captured the whole India. Now that is something really, really good. That is something astonishing. India is 1.25 billion people, filled with 1.25 billion people, and somewhere, some small state with that growth, a man comes, regardless to being it's truth or not, a man comes and he captures the heart of the rest of the country people. It just begs for me to wonder what would have been to someone else who had done the same thing throughout the country, where he would have been, where the people of India would have been if someone decided to do all the good work and take that with them and showcase that with them. Where would have been in this world? Yeah, that is something interesting really to think about. So if one man can do that, and regardless of the truth or wrong, truth or false, if one man can do that, with that small amount of growth, what we can do with the whole country's growth, where we would be. Now I'm not saying you should take that fame or respect or that into account and work, but that is not a bad thing to take into account and work. Now everybody says, you have to work for the future, our kids and everything else. As cliche as it's going to sound, as it sounds, it's already corny, but still. You see, there's so much to do, there's so much to correct, there's so much to grow. It takes so much years. It takes at least a generation. Hence, we work our generations to make life. We cannot sit back and say, see, we are not going to enjoy the fruits, so let us just sit. If that has been done, we wouldn't have had a place to sit in the first place, because our previous guys did some kind of work, regardless of the quality of it, some kind of work for us to sit in one place and do or think or ponder on doing something other than for ourselves. That is a great thing. So we must think, is this enough? Is this what we want to do? Sit and do nothing and let it be? I know, we have to let it be. There are things that you cannot control in yourself, but these are things that you can. I believe these are things that you can control and change and work day in, day out. You're not going to ask, this is not like dropping everything and going on the road and protesting, No. This is something, being conscious in your day-to-day life. Whatever you're doing, just do it rightly. From the morning you go out, greeting people, smiling, say hi, goodbye, good evening, the wishes, respect others, following the rules and regulations. If someone else is not following, you correct them and you point out to them to do right, to be on the right side. These are the things that need changes. Let's make the job easy for them. Here we are, pointing that politicians are corrupt in this and that. There are rules set, and some of us, most of us, many of us don't follow it. And then we say that the politicians are corrupt and they are corrupt. Well, they are, and so are we. So I think we should change. We should fight. We should work on ourselves. Follow small rules, one day at a time, one step at a time. Create an environment for yourself where you feel proud and honored to live. To wake up in a day when you say, this is good, this feels good. I don't feel pain anymore, I don't feel sorrow anymore. Create an environment because you can. Just think of this, Let it be fake for a second. For example, let the one we elected right now be fake to its very core. But what did he do? With those words, kind of hope and, all the savior kind of thing, and trust, he actually made people believe. He actually made people hope. He actually made people believe that we can change, that is good, and we can do good. And if that's true, and if that is true to be happening, that's just great. And if everybody started to ponder that idea, to do right, to be good, to follow right, to love, what will happen? What will the end result be? That's just endless. It just keeps on growing. There's nothing but growth. This election is for us. This country is for us. These people, our people, is for us. We are for us. We have to believe in that. Only if we allow for them to make a mistake, they make a mistake. If we say, see, for example, if the parents, they teach their kids some things, and they grow, they be in the teenage, and he make mistakes. If the parents didn't teach him well, or if the parents didn't allow him to make a mistake, I don't think so he will make a mistake. Likewise is the politicians and the public relationship. It has to be like that, because people are the parents. It's time for them to serve. As they grow up, to be a politician, as they grow up to be an adult, they serve the parents. They build an environment where the parents can sustain because they help them grow. The parents help them children grow. That's the logic. Here the public helped these people grow into a position where they could lead us, not lead themselves, but lead us. Serve us, not themselves, serve us. So I think we should monitor that. We shouldn't start with the election day, or we shouldn't keep one day for that and just forget it, and next day of the same year we'll come and we'll decide. It has to be through and throughout. I know it's a difficult thing to follow up, but that's how it should be. I hope that's how it will be in the future, at least. I hope he's watching. If he gets to watch, I hope he remembers what he said. I hope he remembers that this is for the growth of this country. Regardless to what he said, what he's done in the past, I hope he stands by his words, and I hope people will not stay in his way in fulfilling those hopes, because I hope people will realize that it doesn't matter who does it, as long as it gets done. To an extent, we'll have to also think about who's doing it, but under one circumstances it changes. On what intention does he do? Does he have pure, true intentions? And if that's the case, I think we should just leave way for him to do. Just monitor from little far. That's it. And we should be good. We should be happy. There's so much to be done in this country. There's so much to be done in this world. And I truly believe we have a long way to go. I hope we just stop fighting within ourselves. Who will lead in? Who will lead in? Who will lead in? I'll be in the power, you'll be in the power. There is no power here. It's just about building a nation. It's about building the world. It's about building ourselves. Who builds better? But at the end of it all, everybody builds. Every single person builds. Every single person, from a child to an old man, even to the dead person. It builds the country, it builds the nation, it builds the land. So everybody is a part of it. Let's not forget that. I'm sorry if I sounded so preaching, but I just wanted to let what he's done right now is he's created an opportunity for all of us to work together, regardless to his intention. If our intentions are good and pure, we can make his intention stay good and pure. So I urge everybody who's watching to work towards that, for good life and good living. Thank you.